Welcome to Bella Stitches Contour. We are going to start by lecturing you on how to sew or how to cut a simple gown, a straight gown. First of all, we wrapped our clothes into 4. As you can see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So after placing it into 4, you bring out your seam allowance, that is zip allowance. So after bringing out your zip allowance, it depends on the one you want, even if it's going to be 2 inches or 1 inches. But here I use 1 inches. As you can see it, I use 1 inches here. So we are going to measure it. This is my design. I've used all the things because I want this design to be down pat. So we are going to start by measuring the neck, and my neck is going to be 3 inches. Are you seeing it? And my shoulder will be 4 inches. It depends on the shoulder of that person. So the armhole, I'm going to use 8 inches here. Then when you are going to measure the bust of that person, you come down small. That is 1 inches. You come down small. Then you measure the bust of that person is 30 inches. So that 30 inches divided by 4 is what? 7.5. Then 7.5, you draw it. Then the allowance seam is 2 inches. I will use 2 inches. Some people are using what? 8. Some people are using 3 inches too to measure their own. So here we are going to measure we are going to get the waist of that person. So we are going to measure it maybe 17 or 16.5 inches. So we are going to use 17 inches to get the waist of that person. The waist we are going to use 28. Then 28 divided by 2 is what? 14. Then 14 divided by 2 is what? 7. That is 7 here. We are going to measure 7 and get our 7. We use 2 inches here, and we are going to still use the 2 inches. Then the hip, we are going to use hip 40. Hip 40 divided by 2 is what? 40. Then hip 40 divided by 2 is 20. Then 20 is what? 10. Then we are going to use 10 here. To get our hip, we are going to measure 9. From the waist, you measure 9 for you to get your hip. After drawing the 9, you measure your hip. The hip is what? 10. Then 10 here, you bring out your seam allowance, that is 3 inches. Then since it is a straight gown, you draw it. Are you seeing it? So here, then we are going to draw our armhole. Then on the shoulder, on the neck, we are going to draw 1.5 inches so that it will come down. It will not hang the person. So yeah, after that you cut.